45 people, fired to make room for an AI bot. 6 weeks later, every single one got their job back. Not a policy change, not a change of heart about AI. Commonwealth Bank's own statement said its initial assessment simply didn't consider everything it should have. This video is about 3 real companies who made an AI staffing call, found out fast that it didn't hold up, and what walking it back actually cost them, plus the real current numbers on how often this is happening across the wider market. Commonwealth Bank isn't an outlier, it's one visible case inside a bigger, already measured pattern. Robert Half surveyed nearly 2,000 US hiring managers. 32% had already rehired for a role they'd eliminated because of AI. By department, it's uneven. 44% in finance, 35 in HR, 32 in technology itself, the department closest to the tools walking it back at roughly the same rate as everyone else. Gartner now forecasts that by 2027, half of the companies that blamed AI for cutting customer service jobs will rehire for similar roles. With an honest caveat from Gartner's own analyst, the reality is more complex than AI failed. Broader economic conditions influenced a lot of these cuts too. This video isn't arguing AI doesn't work. It's asking what it actually costs when a company bets on it before it can check the bet. Commonwealth Bank of Australia cut 45 customer service roles in July 2025 after deploying an AI voice bot the bank said was cutting call volumes by around 2,000 calls a week. On paper, that's a real efficiency win, but the bank's own union disputed that number from the start. Members said call volumes were actually rising, not falling, and that staff were being pulled on to overtime to keep up. The dispute went all the way to Australia's Fair Work Commission before the bank blinked. 6 weeks after the cuts, on August 21st, Commonwealth Bank reversed every one of those redundancies. A bank spokesperson said directly that the initial assessment did not adequately consider all relevant considerations. A company's own words, not an outside critic's. 6 weeks is the detail that matters most here. That's not a multi-year strategy that slowly proved wrong. That's a decision that didn't survive contact with its own workforce for even 2 months. And notably, the bank never actually had to concede whether the AI's efficiency claim was true. It reversed the cuts without settling that argument at all. Recruiting, rehiring, and retraining 45 people in under 2 months isn't free. And neither is the 6 weeks the bank spent contesting its own numbers in public. Ford's story is different and worth including precisely because it isn't a clean failure. Ford brought back roughly 350 veteran engineers, internally nicknamed the Greybeards, after quality problems started showing up in vehicles built with a heavier reliance on automated processes. The result, according to J.D. Power's own June 2026 initial quality study, Ford jumped from 15th place to first among mainstream brands, 152 problems per 100 vehicles, down from 193 the year before, roughly a 21% drop, its best result in 16 years. Ford's own vice president put it plainly, AI is a fantastic tool, but it's only as good as the information used to train it. That's not an argument against automation. Ford CEO Jim Farley has said the company's broader efficiency push is still saving hundreds of millions of dollars a year, with a full-year target of around $1 billion. But the specific decision to lean on automation for the judgment calls experienced engineers used to make needed 350 rehires to fix. Ford isn't undoing its AI strategy, it's paying in headcount for the one part of it that assumed experience was replaceable. IBM's case sits in between the other two, and it's worth being precise about what IBM has and hasn't said. IBM's own Ask HR assistant now resolves about 94% of routine HR questions, real and a genuinely large share of the workload. The remaining 6%, IBM says, is deliberately routed to a human because it includes ethical judgment calls. The company doesn't want a system making alone. IBM isn't reversing that system. But in 2026, IBM announced it's tripling entry-level hiring across its US business. And its own chief HR officer said the reasoning directly. If the company doesn't keep investing in entry-level roles, the talent pipeline dries up in 3 to 5 years. That's not a company undoing an AI mistake. It's a company that automated the routine work, kept the 6% that needs judgment, and is now spending on the one thing automation can't build for you: the next generation of people who will have that judgment in 5 years. It's the same shape of lesson Klarna's reversal taught a year earlier. Covered in this channel's last video, Klarna's CEO told Bloomberg directly that cost became too dominant a factor in its own AI customer service push, and that quality suffered as a result before Klarna started hiring humans back. 3 companies, 3 different outcomes. One reversed in 6 weeks, one rehired to fix quality, one never reversed at all but is now spending specifically to protect what automation can't replace. The pattern underneath all 3 is the same. The cost of getting the automation call wrong doesn't show up on the day of the layoff. It shows up months later in a rehire, a retraining budget, or hiring plan built specifically to patch the gap. 4 companies, 4 different outcomes, and none of them did AI wrong. Commonwealth Bank reversed in 6 weeks. Ford spent 350 rehires to fix what automation missed. IBM never reversed anything and is still tripling entry-level hiring anyway. Klarna walked its own pushback a video ago. The pattern underneath all 4. The cost of an automation call doesn't show up on the day of the layoff. It shows up months later in a rehire, a retraining budget, or a hiring plan built to patch the gap. Cutting a role for AI and keeping it cut are 2 separate decisions. Right now, a lot of companies are finding out the second one needs real evidence, not just the first one's business case. If you want the real numbers behind a decision before you have to find them out the hard way, that's what this channel does. Named sources, real figures, nothing invented. Save this if it's useful. And tell me in the comments which company's AI decision you want the real numbers on next.